Hello friends, thank you so much for tuning in to Lunch with Mr. Sharp. It is the last day of February when I am recording this, the last day of February, and I'm having a wonderful, amazing week with my students, and there's so many things that I want to talk about that are going on with my students, and I'll maybe tell you a little bit. But before that, I want to talk about some extremely amazing 2018 books for kids that I am really excited to read or I have already read. But there's just so many great books, so we should get started right now. Okay, the very first book that I want to talk about is a book that I read to my students today for our classroom book a day, and it was a giant hit, like a huge hit, a colossal hit. My kids love picture books. They love just about every book that I read them, but this one was even, they were just captivated by it. The book is designed gorgeously. They loved every little detail. And that book is Hello, Hello by Brendan Wenzel, the author of the Caldecott honor-winning book, They All Saw a Cat. This book is designed gorgeously. The case is beautiful. The end papers are beautiful. The back of the book is beautiful. I don't know how much I want to ruin. I don't want to ruin the case for you. I don't want to ruin the end papers for you. I do want to show you just maybe one illustration. It's so pretty. My kids loved it. It talks a lot about, there's a really amazing author's note at the end where Brendan talks about animals being endangered and us sharing this planet, and how we need to treat everyone and every creature with respect and care. And it's really cool. He's got these last two spreads are of all of the animals. I don't know, there's a tremendous amount of creatures in this book. 92 of them, all 92 of them, and it states if they are endangered in any way and what level that it is. Really beautiful, gorgeous book. I can't do it justice in just showing you one spread, but it is honestly one of those books that I don't want to ruin anything for readers. You need to experience this. I felt kind of the same way last year when I read Dan Santat's After the Fall. You need to read this book and experience it. Don't look at any pictures. Try not to read anything else online. Just read it and experience it yourselves. It's that beautiful. It's just gorgeous. I feel like this is a book that every single child should have in their home. Yeah. Even super young. This book captivated a group of 10 and 11-year-olds. Seriously captivated them. But I also think my 1-year-old son would love it. My 3-year-old son would love it. My 2nd grade daughter would love it. My 4th grade daughter would love it. And my 5th grade son did love it. I have a lot of children. Oh, it's a lot. But I really do think that this is a picture book for everyone, and it belongs in every classroom, every library, and every home. Hello, hello. Buy this book. It's worth it. All right. The next book that this is going to make me the cool kid in school. Kwame Alexander's Rebound, the prequel to the beloved Newbery Medal winning book Crossover. This takes place from the boys in Crossovers. It's their dad's story when he was young. I am dying to read it. And here's the thing. I want to read this book right now, today. But I also have kids who are dying to read it, and they keep asking me if I'm going to get a copy before it comes out in April. So I have to make the decision. Do I let them know that I have this book and risk not being able to read it until I buy more copies in April? Or do I just keep it and read it myself? You all probably, if you know me at all, you know the answer is I will let my students, of course, read it first. And I will pout. And I will make them feel like I'm nice because of it. Maybe I am nice, but I'm dying to read this book. Kwame can just captivate readers in a really special way. Crossover and Booked are always being read by multiple students in my classes. It is such an important series, and he's such an important author to children's literature. So Kwame, keep doing your thing. Keep changing the world. Keep making books for kids because your work is important. All right. The next book that I am dying to read is Jazz Owls by Margarita Engel. I love everything that she writes. She's just so talented, and she writes about such important things. This book is centered around the Zoot Suit riots, which I honestly knew nothing about. I was Googling them and reading a little bit up about that, and it's just awful. It's just awful, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about them through this novel in verse. Her books are intense, though. Like, I know that this book is going to make me feel all kinds of things. So, Jazz Owls, I'm super stoked to read it. It comes out, when does it come out? May. It comes out in May. And she's working on a Nerdy Book Club post. I don't know if it's about this book, but just read everything she writes because she's so amazing. You need to read everything that Margarita Engel writes because she is a gift to the world. Her episode of The Yarn was one of the greatest experiences of my professional life, interviewing her for that and talking to her. She's just awesome. Such a good person. All right, next up is How to Code a Sandcastle. It's written by my friend Josh Funk, and it's illustrated by Sarah Palacios. Coding, awesome. Sandcastles, awesome. Josh Funk picture books, awesome. I haven't read this, but I'm going to read it today, and I'm really excited. And I know that like Josh does all this computer stuff for a living, and he makes awesome picture books for also a living. He's got like these 2 livings, and I'm excited to kind of see them come together in a beautiful book for kids. How to Code a Sandcastle. You should probably read this book too. I probably shouldn't read this book in front of you. That would be rude. So really excited for How to Code a Sandcastle. I just love that cover. How to Code a Sandcastle. All right. Next up is Lions and Liars by Kate Beasley. It is a novel, and it is illustrated by, you don't even have to see the name, and you know that it's the cover and some interior illustrations are done by Dan Santat. Such a distinguished style. And anytime kids go to a disciplinary camp for troublesome boys, I want to learn more about that. I'm dying to read this. Gertie's Leap to Greatness was featured on The Yarn a whole season, and it was great to get to know Kate and her editor, Grace Kendall, who I'm assuming probably also edited this book, probably. Anyways, if I'm wrong, just leave me a comment and yell at me down below. But really excited about this. Kate Beasley is going to write a lot of really great books for kids because she's already written one, and I'm sure that this book is going to be really awesome as well. This is not meant to be like a shameless plug, but I am starting to use this more with my students, the Creativity Project. It's a book that I edited with over 40 children's book creators are part of it. And there's prompts. Each author sent in 2 prompts, and then we gave those 2 prompts to someone else, and it's just like this big, huge tangled web. I guess not too tangled, but it's this big, huge web. And we're using some of the prompts in class, and I'm going to be honest, the kids are creating amazing things. And when we're doing quick writes, we're just giving them prompts, and they're responding. And what's really cool is more kids want to share than ever. So many kids are wanting to share their prompts. So many kids are are excited about it. So many kids are trying to cheat the system and make me let more kids share. And we don't have any time. But they're just finding ways to get other people to hear their writing. And what more do we want out of our writers than them doing whatever it takes to get someone else to read their writing? That is awesome. I just thought that's just such a cool thing. At first I'm oh my gosh, we have to go, we have to do this, we have to do this. But I love that they are dying to get someone to read their writing. That's the way it should be. That's really fantastic. That makes me so happy. Today we responded to a Kate Messner prompt in here. It's a beautiful time travel-y prompt, and the kids did amazing things. And it also so happened to be the same prompt that Andrea Davis Pinkney picked of Kate's 2 prompts. This is the one that Andrea picked. And then we read hers to close out our writing time together. And I'm telling you, hanging out with kid writers is just amazing. It's just amazing. I hope you are all doing so well. Please let me know if you're still watching this at the end. Don't let me know that you're watching, but let me know what you're reading. What 2018 books are you really excited about? I have a stack here. I have a stack in the closet. I have a stack at home, and they're all also spread out through my classroom. 2018 is going to be a really great year for kids and for books and for readers, and I am really excited to see what my students are loving. I'm really excited to see what you are loving. There are just so many great books out there. Really quick story. My son is a great reader. He's a very talented reader. He learned to read at 2.5. He was reading books on his own, and he just taught himself. He had this little fridge DJ thing that said the alphabet, and he would just stare at it, and he learned the alphabet, upper lowercase letters, and just after his first birthday, he was just obsessed with the alphabet. And then he taught himself to read, and he is super obsessed with Dave Pilkey, Captain Underpants. But And I am his fifth grade teacher for language arts, and he got into like this little bit of a rut. Like he was still reading, but he wasn't like lost in anything like he had been previously in Dave Pilkey's books. And Dave Pilkey like can't meet Breslin's need. Like Dave Pilkey would need to create a Dogman book every 2 days, and it takes like 9 months. So that's never going to happen. But he's fallen in love with Harry Potter to the point where Friday he basically read for 8 hours after school, and then woke up Saturday and read until he finished the third Harry Potter. And now he's well over halfway through the fourth, just a few days later, and it's just been so fun to watch. So it just had me thinking so much, like just never giving up, always continuing to find that next book for kids. Sometimes they need our support, sometimes they can do it on their own, but if they can find it, like their book is out there. And I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, so I wasn't pushing it. I don't even actually have all of them in my fifth grade classroom, which is super embarrassing. But just finding that book and being able to experience it, not only seeing him read that book in class, but also seeing him read that book in math class, and seeing him read the book in our car, and seeing read the book when we're at gymnastics. And when we go to the Y, he usually swims, but he asked if he could read because he had to read Harry Potter. And then he's reading way past his bedtime, so he's exhausted in the morning. But he's just madly in love with that series. And as a teacher, as someone who cares tremendously about reading, it makes me so, so happy. So thank you so much for watching. If there's anything I can ever do for you and your readers, let me know. I am here to help. Thank you for sharing books and writing books and illustrating books and promoting books. I really think that they're going to help us get this world where it needs to be. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day and happy, happy reading.